Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Desi Drama Queen. Episode where 50 somewhere?
Who knows?
60
Who
somewhere?
even knows,
Who
you guys?
even knows,
I can't
guys?
even tell you guys where we're at.
It's been 65 years and 3 days of December.
I was
You know
like,
what I mean?
65 years of what?
Do you know what I mean?
What?
Do you know what I mean? I'm saying of December. It's like December 6th.
Yes.
I'm saying it's been 65 years and also only 5 days of December.
Yes,
So
yes. I was still thinking podcast. I was getting lost. I was like,
You
65
looked at me
years of the
so-
podcast
you're like, really?
of this studio. I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
No, really,
No,
it
it
has.
has been.
And on the way here, we were talking about like it's so snowy. It's so cold. And because as everyone knows, I am like renovating, moving, and to everybody was like, we're gonna be done after Thanksgiving. I was telling the village of my area that I was trying to get approvals and shit from. I was like, guys, before it snows, I need to move into my house, please, please, please. And the day they approved was day after Thanksgiving, and it was a snowstorm. And now I'm like, so I have to move into my house now in a snowstorm.
Snowstorm, like,
It's 8 degrees outside.
it snowed like there's snow piled up to your knees on the side.
it's
and
so bad.
that day, it was 2 days after Thanksgiving. That day, it snowed all day. All day, the skies were gray. All day. And I think it was the same day that Stranger Things came out.
Yeah.
So it was like you're in the closest thing you can get to the upside down
Yeah.
of like fucking winter. And then you're watching the show and I was like, oh my God, this hits so
This is-
good.
I haven't started watching it yet. I know. But I am going to watch it because I heard this season finale is going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, you can also
I
watch
don't
it in
want to,
theaters.
I don't
No, but
miss
that we won't talk about.
We won't
until
talk about
know if
that,
Luke's seen it
but-
or not, because that's like so disrespectful.
Yeah, that's no, I haven't even seen it. So but this is the first year where my winter depression is at its all-time peak high. I didn't have winter depression before. Then I
Now
kind
you're
of
a
like
real local.
I was like sympathetic. I was like, oh, I get it. I don't have it. I get it. Because I got excited about the snow and I got excited about the coziness and like it's Harry Potter weather, blah, 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 blah. And this year I'm like, oh, you disgusting.
You're back, you ugly
Yeah,
bitch.
you're so like it's so to me. I don't care about I can't do it, but I have to do it.
You have to do it. And you know what's been the hardest for me is trying to go to the gym. Like the act of it's like choosing torture. It's like choosing, because I have to walk to my gym. It's not far. It's literally not far. I have to walk maybe 3 minutes. And every time, or taking my dog out, taking Theo
you have
out,
Theo.
every time I'm like, I really have to mentally brace myself. And so I was telling Amna, I was like, I feel like the only way to even remotely survive seasonal depression, because it's like the snow and the cold, but I really feel like more than that, like the whole underrated root cause of this problem
The
is that
source.
it gets dark at like 3:30.
That is what it is. And at
You know
3
what I
p.m.
mean?
it feels like 7 p.m. And by 7 p.m. it's already 4 a.m. Like
You're lost every day. I don't know if it's 5:45
Yeah.
or 11:45.
You know, I started
every day.
doing this yesterday and this is the only way I can make it through in winter. I have to start my errands in the daytime. I am not allowed to come home until I need to be home and complete my errands. I can't make little pit stops at home because once I'm back inside, I'm not coming back out. Yesterday, I went and got my eyebrows done, my hair done. I went to the new house. Yeah, shout out Vanessa. Also, I was telling Sana that like I'm so in the deep depths and shallows of renovating and moving in, but like hopefully, fingers crossed, inshallah, next weekend, like within this week, like we are fully moving. We're doing the bit. And where was I taking that?
Winter, snow, moving
Snow, moving.
next week. House,
Winter. No, go back.
Okay,
Go further back.
Winter, hay, sidewalk.
No. There is hay on my sidewalk right now. Fuck, Sana. Hold on. No, dude.
Okay, Zootopia.
No. Go further back. We were at houses, right before houses. Where were we?
Really
Luke, do you remember where we're? No, dude, it's bad. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Okay,
I'm back. We were at my hair.
Your hair.
I got my eyebrows hair done. Anyways, I'm moving, obviously. And because I'm moving into a new home, I am getting all my maintenance done. Hair, makeup, nail, for me. I cannot walk into my new house ugly. I can't. This is a new home, new air, new chapter, new era. Yeah. I want it to really feel like
that. That's so Southern feminine of you.
Is it?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I wouldn't think that, but I just feel like because you're a Southern gal, you're like, and I'm going to walk into this house with good energy.
Good energy and family and love and God. No, that is how I feel. I do. I want to go in so like, and like fresh.
No, you
like,
look so fresh.
Thank you so much.
When you did I'm like, that is a commercial. You look so fresh and like good, and the hair and
Thank
it's so good.
Well, oh my God. And you look so winter cute cozy.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
That's because yesterday I scheduled I'm like, guys, it's so hard and depressing in the winter when I have to do errands. I'm like, I've got my hair done, my eyebrows done, my nails done.
Okay, but the point is doing that kind of stuff and like finding an ounce, a fucking morsel of something to romanticize about the winter at minimum once a week is the only way
no, what I was
to survive it.
100%. What I was going to say is yesterday I ate Chipotle in my car. Like I did 3 errands.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, the Tesla has a little TV thingy. Okay, so I'm watching Secret Lives of Mormon.
Yeah.
And I started.
Yes. I started because you were going to start.
Dude, it's so good. And I can't wait because in this new house, I will have Peacock. And I don't have Peacock, so I can't watch anything.
Explain to them why you don't have Peacock.
Because my TV at my current house is like the TV my husband brought from his parents' house in the basement. So like we got married 2018. The TV it's an old TV.
Yeah, they were like, okay, we're gonna move into the new space. We're gonna get a new TV, but the TV doesn't have fucking Peacock.
I don't have
or Apple TV, and she can't download it. And and all the questions you have about like, wait, but can't you? No, it doesn't work.
I can't. We tried. We did our best.
Nothing.
No.
So but I do feel like Peacock, like Bravo shows for me are iPad shows. Do you know what I mean? I like prefer watching it on my iPad because then I can take my iPad around with me while I'm doing my dishes and while I put my clothes away and while I clean the bathroom. It's like the best.
I'll try that.
Cooking.
I'll try that because, well, I mean, I won't have to, hopefully, because then I will have Peacock. And that's my biggest qualm right now. But I literally sat in my car and ate Chipotle and then did the rest of my errands and then got home at like actually 7 p.m. by that point because I was like, I had tried doing the, like, okay, I'm going to do 2 errands, go home, do a little this, that, maybe I'll step out. No. I can't. I can't. And I've got nothing but errands to do, apparently. So I have to romanticize it or I'm going to want to actually die. No, like, this is bad.
So bad. And it hasn't hit, you know, the day that's like the day that's like the coldest day of the year it's coming. It hasn't even hit that yet. But I just feel like we have to just like, you literally have to treat it like you're hibernating. I'm like, what are all the shows I'm stocking up on that I need to like watch?
Cozy socks.
Cozy socks, cozy robes, long showers.
Yeah.
You know, like reading. What the fuck else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, a nice dinner. I will say, I feel like Chicago winter dinners and like movie vibes. It's so fun and nostalgic.
It is.
So it's nice.
It's a good place to do it.
We're not doing it enough though yet. At least this year for me, like I feel like normally I really feel like it's Christmassy vibes after Thanksgiving. And this year, I was telling Amna, today is the first day that I listened to like, and I was listening to that Drake remix of the Last Christmas and it's like, where the
really?
Yeah. And I was like, wow. And then I found a playlist called Hood Christmas. And I'm like, wow.
That's what we were listening to on the way here. Hell yeah. We were like jamming to on the way here.
I'm like, I need to know what I'm saying. And you watched 4 Christmases last night.
I did. It was my first time watching it.
I can't believe you've never seen it.
Yeah. And I have been in my 30s. We've talked about this. We've touched on this, that like horror has started going.
No, I was gonna say you were busy watching like Nosferatu or something.
Yeah,
you know, and so you missed out on like
I missed out on like yup. And so I would watch it like here and there, and like when it was on TV back when we had like Dish, like when it was on Dish, I was watching everything. When my own choice, It's all darkness.
Documentaries.
Documentaries.
No, but these are fun. You know what other one? I don't know if you've seen it or not yet, but if you haven't, it's like a really good like winter movie with Ryan Reynolds and this cute girl. They're in Canada. Just Friends. He used to be, do you remember? Have you seen it?
Why do I feel like I've seen that?
He used to be like really big. He gets like hot and skinny.
Yeah. I've seen that. Dude, speaking of documentaries, guys, we have to. Hold on, fuck my hair for this.
Strap in.
We have to strap
you
in
need
for
to
this.
strap in. Sorry, I'm looking at my.
I glanced at myself really fast. This goes back to our. It's not a new segment, but we just have a name for her now. Not Your Mama's Drama.
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
We made that
She was just
segment.
as excited as I hope you guys are.
Yeah.
So, obviously, on today's agenda, obviously,
Be
we
serious.
have to talk about
We have
the
to.
Diddy documentary.
You guys.
Oh my God. I don't know if we should start with the documentary itself or 50 Cent.
50 Cent, because that's immediately what I need to get to. 50 Cent.
50 Cent is like,
The man you are.
if anything ever comes out that 50 Cent has done something really, really bad, it's gonna be like when everyone thought that Batman was actually the villain, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
really
gonna be like our hero's gone left, so like
There's
not
just no hope anymore.
There's
at
no
all,
hope
you know?
anymore, but I'm like, I was about to like list out the things I'm okay with him being. I'm like, if he's doing bad things with the drugs, bad things with the legal system, I'm okay with that.
okay.
That's totally fine.
He's a rebel.
If he's doing fraud, I'm okay with that. As long as he's not harming
As long
people.
as it's nothing,
As long as it's, you know,
the demon type
yeah,
shit.
yeah, because
Dude, it's okay. Well, first of all, did you watch Power?
yes, not like all the way because of
but
just
when
watch
you get
Power,
the new TV and it's cold
Yeah.
out and you need something to watch,
but I have seen Power.
Power is such a good show, you guys. It's
Yeah.
a really, really good show, and I feel like it's highly underrated. But anyways, 50 Cent made that. And then he's saying that he's going to do this documentary. Amna was like already almost done. I start watching it and I'm like, this is such a well done documentary.
So good. And did you see he was interviewed because someone asked him, where did you get this footage? And he was like, I thought a journalist can't reveal his sources.
I'm falling
and
in love
I'm
with
like,
him, dude.
yeah. And when I'm watching the documentary, one, amazing storytelling. Two,
That director,
so good. And I loved, listen, I
Alexandra,
kept
I
talking
think.
about how it was, we know this part 50 put in for sure. And like, he's my like best friend. I'm like, 50 for
50 told
sure
me.
did this. That in the beginning of every episode, in the end, he never let you forget what the charges were, where he's at. And I was like,
no, you're so right. I loved
he
that
never let us
choice.
forget.
No, I loved that choice. So I saw another thing where 50 was asked by the interviewer, like, okay, so because I don't know if you guys know this or not, I'm just going to put this logistical piece out about it because I think it's so fucking amazing. But basically, there's footage in the documentary about Diddy, it's like while he's about to do, like while he's on trial. And he's talking to his lawyer, his PR person, that fucking bitch, Christina Coram, his fucking chief of staff or whatever. Fuck her. And he's talking to all these people, and it's very clear through this footage that he's like manipulating so many things about the situation and the public, and he really understands what the fuck he's doing, right? But it's really confusing when you're watching it because you're like, how did you get this footage? You know, it's like where, like it's like, okay, so is he in on it? You really don't understand where this footage came from because it's like, we know 50 doesn't like him, so what the fuck happened here? So they ask him, and no, it was put out that Diddy and his team only found out that 50 got that footage when it came out. They had no idea that footage was Diddy getting his own footage for like whatever his story was gonna be.
Clearly, that's what it was. What it was.
This part is alleged. I don't know that he didn't pay the videographer, which if you've seen the documentary is a theme of who this man is. And so that footage was bought by 50. So Diddy and his team didn't even know they had that footage until the documentary came out, which is insane. insane.
That
Because
is,
you see him being like, you have to control the narrative. You have to da-da-da. You have to he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
and it's backfiring on him so good. So bad, but so good. And it's like how everyone's been reposting though. Like, I'm not being petty enough in my life. I'm like, wow.
I guess 50's a Cancer man.
We really are not utilizing the hate within us as good as we possibly can.
But this is like for such a good cause.
That's my
you know
point. Like, this is a modern day
Batman,
story. You know, like, he's here to save the day. And
literally.
It was done so well.
And the timeline, if you haven't seen it, please fucking watch it because we're going to like deep dive the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
But it's done so well. And I was going to say that in the interview, they asked 50, like, so what do you think Diddy and his team are going to think about the documentary? And he literally laughs and he's like, I think they're going to say it's one of the best documentaries made of all time. I mean,
you know, when I was watching the documentary, now like deep diving into the I got serious. I'm like, now that we're, really getting in there. Watching the documentary, and I hate this because it's everywhere. I'm like, it's so in our face how diabolical people in Hollywood are, how nasty and conniving. And we know that they get away with anything and everything and what that could mean. And I'm like, it's in our face. And watching the documentary and seeing the timeline from when Biggie dies to his performance, take it even further back, when those 9 people died at that function, I genuinely believe that the moment he, what's the saying? Like, signed his...
fucking...
sealed the deal with the devil or whatever.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that in his career, the moment he went left and was like, I'm going to go about it this way and like the devil has me, is after that function when he chose not to put his own company under his name so that he wouldn't have to pay the people back. And I'm like, you avoided it and you thought you could get away with it, and then
not you thought, he did.
He did.
The creator of Bad Boy with Diddy, Kirk, I don't remember his last name.
I don't remember his last name right now either.
But he's in the documentary. He did everything. And you guys, you know what really blew my mind about this, by the way, is you think that you're getting full parts of the story, right? Throughout the documentary, because it's 4 episodes, but you're getting these people that you get invested in because you're hearing their perspective and you're understanding through the series how close they really were to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at least me, like, we haven't heard these perspectives yet. So they're talking about their experience with him. And then, spoiler alert for sure. And then at the end of it, each and every one of those people hold out, or the way that the documentary was laid out, hold out on the fact. And through the documentary, you're learning about the other things that, let me clarify. At the end of it, you realize that even those people were essayed by him. And even those people, but throughout the entire, it's so insane because you're learning throughout all the other episodes, all these insane, sick, demonic things this man has done to other people. And then you're hearing how he's involved in Pac, Biggie, the guy, Shine, all the Kim Porter, all these people's deaths around him, and then he gets away with it, keeps going. Kirk, who from the beginning is telling you how terrible he is and not telling you what was done to him sexually, but is only telling you how terrible he is. Even at the end of the series, to learn new information from Aubrey and Kirk that they were also SA'd still blew my mind.
Once you think it can't get any worse than that, it keeps getting worse. And when I was watching the documentary, and after I watched the documentary, I kept thinking, especially, oh my God, I'm losing her name, but even we know of the sexual assaults he did early on. I can't imagine being one of his victims, especially early in Diddy's career, and watching this man blow up to fame beyond any other, become one of the first Black men to go into the billionaire status and, the top 1%.
The Ciroc deal.
The Ciroc deals, the Sean Johns, like everything. You're watching this man be everything. We're like, we love Diddy and Cassie.
I had his album.
We were such big fans. He's amazing. Look, they're so cute. That's
Loved
real
him on
love.
Ellen.
loved him on Ellen, never picked up on the little signs, not even little big signs, even though we knew the rumors around it, never knew any of that.
You guys, I thought at best this man was like doing coke on weekends all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As in, like, as a kid with no concept of what was around him, I'm just saying, oh, Diddy's crazy, these white parties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At best, that's what your mind goes to. Like, oh, these people party.
They're doing really crazy drugs, you know? And they're taking their shirts off and jumping in the pool.
But
like,
yeah, and then you're like, wait, that I'm playing this person's music and dancing and da-da-da and da-da-da and watching them and idolizing them and cutting them out in my mag or seeing them in the magazine, and in real life, that's what's happening.
And to be someone who was assaulted by him, to watch someone rise to a level of success, you don't know at that time that 10 years, 20 years down the line, they're going to get caught up. You hope for it, but you don't know it. And you know what the other thing is? Because there's so many conversations happen, like there's just layers and layers and layers and layers of this, because I'm like, obviously, he's not the only one doing this shit.
Of course.
Obviously, every time, any other person that was introduced in the documentary, I'm like, so in a way, everybody knew everything. And watching celebrities talk about even Diddy at the time, or just each other, and I'm like, you knew exactly what that person was doing. What?
That's what gets me about the Ellen thing, dude. And like, it actually, I saw Teffy do a video where she was like something about, she was talking about pranks. And she's like, and it just reminds me of the days that, and she's like, and it's so hard to even say this because it's just like so painful to have to get over the fact that Ellen's like actually a really shitty person probably. And she was like, but the way she would prank and it would bring everyone together. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what we were saying too. And then to keep realizing, because now, you know what I'm saying? Just, you were so associated, and it's like, damn.
I feel that way with the Diddy situation a lot about Ashton Kutcher. Because I loved pranked. I loved punked.
Sorry.
You gasped. We looked. It was me looking. I was like, me. It's me.
Sorry.
No, but I loved punked. And seeing how close an association Ashton Kutcher is to Diddy is like, man. And Leonardo doesn't throw me off at all. I'm like, yeah. Makes sense. It adds up.
It's just
really
crazy
fucking
because,
weird.
No, I remember having a huge crush on him and being like, oh my God, what a fine ass man. And now I'm like, ew, you're really just a creep.
You're just a loser.
Dude, I saw this on TikTok somewhere, that there was a blind item about Leo that he like will sleep with people, but that he's gay, and that he'll sleep with people, like girls that are young, because they're more like pubescent looking, that give whatever. Okay, so this is going down a weird road, I know, but this is just, there was like a couple of these, and that somebody said that he wears VR glasses while he's sleeping with them. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like these people are fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, all of these people are really fucking weird.
That's such a specific blind. That's such a random.
There's like multiples. Like, there is a lot of people saying things like this. Yeah, but anyways, my point was like, they're just like, you know, like, it's not shocking that Leonardo DiCaprio is a weirdo with a developed brain. You can kind of be like, okay.
Yeah. And we talked about this a lot in like even I don't remember if we talked about the R. Kelly, but I'm sure we did. When you're younger and you're idolizing these celebrities, and your parents are like, they're really not all that. They're not that serious. I would look at my parents and be like, you don't know them. They are
don't
everything.
Know them like I
you don't
know them.
Like I know them. You don't think I know what they go through. Do you have any idea what it means to have that much fame and carry the responsibility of that mom and dad? And my parents are like, shut up. They're disgusting creeps. No. And I say that to say that if when I was young, any celebrity, Diddy, whomever was like, hey, you want to come to this after party? I would have snuck out of my house, begged, cried, thrown up, and been like, I'm go.
Are you kidding?
Now with the developed frontal lobe, I'm like, there is no reason why teenagers and children should be invited to a grown man's house for any reason, actually. Fuck a party. For any reason.
100%.
Any reason. That's so weird. I think it's so weird watching celebrities that are older fangirl over younger celebrities and then try to become friends with them when they're like actual children in a way that's not like, oh, it's such a cute kid. When it's like, oh no, we like, you know, I can't. So because there was clips of Diddy coming out And this one actress, she had won an award and she was like, I don't know, she looked 12 on stage. And he's like joking with her, like, oh, you're going to come to the after party, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, what? I think any celebrity that compares themselves to anything that's godlike, godliness to that level, you have fully lost the plot. You have fully gone over the edge. I mean, he was an asshole, fucked up, weirdo, sexual assaulter before that. But just, I'm like, you have to have thought of yourself in that early on to even think that you could continue to get away with shit like
you're
that.
Saying it out loud. You see in the documentary that as he's getting older, he literally will say things like, the only thing you can compare me to is the son of God. Like, that's the only thing you can compare me to. Like, he kept saying stuff like that. And it's like, you can see his delusion building. And Kirk, the co-founder, like the person that did Bad Boys with him, he literally said that what you said, he was saying that if he had to pinpoint a point where he saw the turn in Diddy, where because Diddy was someone who I guess didn't drink, smoke, nothing.
No, he didn't.
He literally didn't do anything. His mom was fucked up.
Yeah, there's weird shit going on with his mom for sure.
And then even after the 9 people died, like when his mom, I guess, confronted him, right? Is he like hit her and called her a bitch? Wasn't that for that? Fucking insane behavior, right? But so it was, I think that moment, exactly that, like Kirk was saying that he got away with that, made him think essentially, like he didn't say this part, but I'm just saying it, that like, I feel like it made him think he could walk on water. I can get away with that. Oh, I'm going to take it a step further. But it's like, wow, at what point? And oh my God, watching him talk to, who was the girl that he was in the band with Dawn?
Should I look it up?
Yeah.
Let me see who's all in the documentary. Pause. Guys, I'm looking up Diddy documentary Netflix because we were trying to figure out names of who we're trying to reference. And I clicked on cast and there's 2 members, 50 Cent and Diddy. On Google, they only show as the cast 50 Cent and Diddy. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. That's so...
Wait,
what's so going on? Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, you know what else someone said while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Someone was saying that people on TikTok are saying how they think that Zoe Kravitz did Blink twice in reference to Diddy, right? And the last episode of the documentary is called Blink Again. So somebody on TikTok was like, Blink Again means you've already blinked once, so blink twice. And that's the name of the 4th and final episode of the documentary. And again, the documentary walks you through and still throws bombs at you at the end. And it literally, the way that it wraps up and it says Blink, the episode is called Blink Again.
That's crazy.
Right?
Oh, I love this.
I know. Dude,
love this.
This and Stranger Things, I genuinely am like, thank you for giving us something to live for.
Yeah.
In these times. The parts of the documentary that are like mind-blowing, we're not even like, if there's a part
you're gonna watch it,
but you'll see it, and that stuff is insane. Also, Tupac was hot as fuck, dude. Did you feel like that watching it?
I always knew Tupac was a cutie.
Same, yeah.
And then, I don't know, I think it just like left my brain somewhere in like my early 20s, preteens. I was like, oh yeah, he's a handsome guy. Watching the documentary, I was like, oh, no, Tupac?
Watching the documentary, I'm like, I have a huge crush on you right now.
Yeah, he's his gorgeous man.
His vibe and just how sweet he was to Biggie. I'm just like, wait, am I like... I don't know, his jaw.
Yeah. Dude, he has a good jaw, good bone structure. And watching, it was kind of not mean girly, but like watching like Diddy, people in the documentary being like, yeah, and he tried to talk to me and I was like, every time I'm like, it's like watching, Diddy was like giving that one weird kid in your school that says he's a nice guy, but he's like, you know, scratching out the table the whole time in class. And you're like, are you a nice guy?
Dude, I don't think so. I feel like he was the person that was extra charismatic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't know why I wasn't getting charisma from him. I was like, dude, you're kind of giving weird.
At least with women, I really do think that he knew how to work people. I think he couldn't have had all these people wanting to do stuff for him if he wasn't able to read them in that way, you know? But I do see what you're saying with, it's like when you see him next to Tupac, you're like, oh, you're such a little like salamander right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? You look like such a loser, shut up. But like otherwise, and that's why he couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
If he wasn't that person in the room, he literally couldn't stand it.
That's so valid.
But Kalina, watching at the end of the documentary, Kalina was in Dirty Money with him, and she was So Dawn, who came out of Danity Kane, which came out of Making the Band, which please, if any of you also watched Making the Band, please message, because I'm like, I remember seeing all these things watching that show. But anyways, Dawn came out about the things that Diddy did to her, which were obviously super fucked up, right? So she comes out about that stuff. And then the only other person that would have that information or have known it is Kalina, because the three, Diddy, Dawn, and Kalina, were doing Dirty Money together. So Diddy calls Kalina after, like, as in, like, you know, current day. And he's like, dude, I have all this shit going on. And now Dawn drops this, you know, trying to talk shit on me, basically, and saying these things I did. You know, that's not true. He's like trying to sweet talk the fuck out of her, right? Like, he's like really trying to, like, you know, I'm asking you for a big favor. You know, you're like my girl, blah, blah, blah. I'm asking you for a big favor to, like, clear my name, basically, on and on. And then through that, Kalina tells the audience, because she's being interviewed on the documentary, she says that, dude, there was a time that he wasn't paying me. I needed $5,000. I was going to lose my kids. I was going through this, and this. And he straight up said no to me when he had everything. And now he still has the fucking the audacity. Really confuses me.
I think that's what takes people like that far, dude, is the audacity. I think your average person doesn't have that much audacity. So when you have so much, you can't help but get far, because who else thinks like that?
And you know what else? Did you notice that he signs everything with God and God bless and always says God this and God? Did you notice that?
Yeah, there was a part in the documentary where I started laughing because he was saying something about, like, I don't remember the exact what it was, but he was,
God told me to just be quiet right now.
No, that, but also when he was saying something nice, he was talking about, like, doing something sexual, like some, like, I don't know, position, or I don't know what it was. He was talking about doing something sexual.
When he emailed her.
And then yes. Yeah. I was like, what is it? He's talking about the things he wants to do to this woman. He's cornering her and being really disgusting. And then he ends it with God bless and love God. And I was like, what is happening? What is happening? You are insane.
Yeah. Even the current day when he's about to go to trial, he's like, God spoke to me and told me not to talk. Oh, and then when they're getting this footage of him during the trial, he is saying I thought truly that he was like, fuck, I got caught up and I got caught up being a shit person, right?
Mm-hmm, you would think.
But he actually was like, they're painting me out to be a monster. They're making me sound like this bad guy. I'm not a bad guy. This is what they're making me out to be. And I'm like, are you disassociated? I don't understand what's going on.
That's where the audacity comes from, dude. That's where that audacity comes from.
Separate yourself from your actions.
Because you think you're bigger and better than the program. You think you're bigger and better than everything. Also, can we also just talk about...
I did this. You know, sorry for anybody listening. You know when the fucking kids do the tip, yeah. I did like the bird version that we would do in front of like a shadow.
Yeah, like a bunny. But also, this whole documentary is going on, and then they show that one Desi uncle juror, and I'm like,
no, oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up, Amna. I was like,
who put my uncle on the jury?
Why?
Who put this man on the jury?
He literally said at some point, he's like, his analogy of, he goes, you cannot clap with only one hand. It takes two hands to clap. And I was like, shut the fuck up! He was talking about Cassie and Diddy.
And how it's like they were showing two ends of the spectrum of the jurors, which I love that they did that. They were showing someone who was very clearly a fan.
Oh, she was fucking weird.
She was in love with Diddy.
She was in love. She was like, dude.
She's like giggling, and she's like, yeah, then he would look at me sometime. And then they showed the opposite end of the spectrum, which is who else? The only person you could put on the other end of that spectrum is a Desi uncle. Truly.
He's like, all of us have this
Truly.
uncle, you guys.
Every one of us has this
He's
uncle.
like a little misogynistic.
Everyone, he's the one that we
He's like, well, she wanted to.
and the thing with that uncle is every one of us, we tune him out. We're like,
we're like, oh, because the stakes are low.
but then
you put him in a high stakes
You took
situation.
our uncle that we are like, he's just yapping at somebody in the corner, like let him, whatever. That man gets put on the most intense, public, all eyes are on this jury. And I'm like, oh my God, they couldn't have picked anybody else. The person that comes second is that one guy in the African news that is like, why are you gay? You are gay. That's the next closest thing we have. I was like, this guy,
it's so funny.
This guy is so
Can
bad.
I say something though? Can I say something? I don't know why this like grinds my gears a little, but okay. In the documentary, they tell you that the jury wasn't sequestered, right? Which, first of all,
What does that
sounds
mean?
like a horse.
Yeah, I was like, they weren't
sounds-
equestrians. What do you mean? I'm like, okay.
Okay, this is exactly my point. So they're saying in the documentary the whole time that like they're sequestered. It's like the way you have to learn the word subpoena. You know, you have to hear it like a million times and you're like, what is a subpoena?
Yeah, I don't even know what a cease and desist is.
Dude. So anyways, so they say it in the documentary that the jury was not sequestered. The jury had access to the outside like media and everything, which first of all, I didn't know. But yeah, the jury would go back to their rooms, and a sequestered jury is when it's closed. You don't have access to anything. You can't be influenced by anything outside. They didn't do that for this jury. So they were going home, which I thought, everybody on
How did I
TikTok
miss
was like,
that?
same. I was following this trial and I'm like, you didn't even look at the main sources. You didn't even look at what's wrong with you? How did you miss this, But yeah, so the jury was able to go home every day and completely be
What?
Yes, and see everything, which is wild. And so that's why in the documentary, Diddy is constantly saying, like, we need to be careful
that's
about
why
public
they were-
opinion. We need to hire the best PR people. We need to literally push out like the opposite narrative, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, my point in saying that is all of a sudden, everyone on TikTok is talking about the jury being sequestered or not. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You just learned the word sequestered. Shut the fuck up. You did not all use this term like this.
Yeah, I actually don't even know
saying?
that during the trial.
I didn't know that either, but I'm just saying, when that happens when people like are like, oh, I've known this word. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Also, I'm doing the replay in my brain because I'm like, wait, Stephanie Sue was doing updates, and that makes sense because I guess legally you wouldn't be able to, but I just assume she did it afterwards. I also really love that Stephanie Sue then has an episode about the documentary and it's sponsored by Netflix, and I'm like,
wait, I need to see that. I didn't see that.
also, where am I going?
Yeah, literally.
Where have I been?
Well, now you're leaving.
Yeah, hold on, let me turn around. Okay.
You were like, no problem, Luke. I won't look at the camera.
I'm going this way the whole episode. Let me come back. Okay.
Okay,
I feel like
we move on.
We should, yes. Okay.
And other not your mamas. Thanks so much, Luke. Like, let me just lean in. And other not your mama drama. Dude, I really hate my hair today. We're never gonna get this green again.
By the end of the episode, the cap's gonna be on our head.
Okay, whatever.
Wait.
In other news, we wanted to talk about guys, there's so much discourse on TikTok about Akash Singh and his wife Jasleen and all this stuff that's been going on, which it was like this little thing that I feel like became this massive storm. And everyone had an opinion on it. There was a divorce lawyer that I like always see his like videos come up. He's like a really famous divorce lawyer. He gives takes on everything. And I was on my For You page and he's talking about it. And I'm like, what? Where have we gone?
I feel like once things that are in Desi TikTok, once they leave Desi TikTok, that's when I'm like, whoa.
It's like, it's not even yours anymore. It's now just the
Now
world.
it's everybody's. Like,
But
what?
so basically this has been going on for a while, right?
Yeah.
And then very recently, Jasleen goes on her husband, Akash, which obviously he's like a huge
comedian,
He's on this
podcaster.
Flagrant podcast, right? Like we're assuming you guys know this background info.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes on his podcast with him and his like three other co-hosts.
Three other co-hosts, yeah.
Yeah, his three other co-hosts. And it's Jasleen on one side, and then it's like the three, like they're all on the other side.
It's Akash, and then there's the four
so her
co-hosts.
husband, and then the co-host and him. And okay, so not so much thoughts on like the pre-situation, but thoughts on the approach of how the reaction of the internet and the questions that the internet has, the way that the Flagrant podcast asked and like did this interview made us pause.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like I don't give a shit what people do in their marriage, right? Yeah. As long as you two are cool with it and like you guys have your dynamic, because he's a comedian and he has made his wife the butt of his joke many a times. Mm-hmm. He has put the conversation of who was a virgin, who wasn't.
I agree.
Yada yada.
He has made her the butt of his joke, and she's
put that out there for sure, right? And so whatever they have figured out in their marriage, that's on them. Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's like, I understand people, you know, have comments to say about it and there are mean comments and some people agree and disagree. I get that whole discourse. That is like, okay, whatever. Next topic.
You two are choosing to put your
marriage out there for discussion as we put our random shit and stories out there.
I do think it's a choice. You're choosing to put your marriage out there to that degree.
Yeah.
I was telling, and they're both entertainers and their content includes that stuff about each other. So
yeah.
Obviously that's got to be a conversation of your marriage if that's what's happening, right? But like there are other people, like I listen to Giggly Squad and Hannah and her husband are both also comedians, but they don't talk about each other much. And like maybe as someone who's also married, I kind of but I talk about my husband and complain about, like we do that too, but I'm just saying that I do feel like they open themselves up to way more conversation than I do think most people do. And it's because they're both entertainers and it's part of their bit.
Yeah, it's part of his bit. So, you know, I don't have too much on the take of that besides that I understand why it's, I don't want to say up for grabs, but like why it's topic of discussion and
maybe they wanted
blah, blah, blah. Maybe, you know, that's fine too. The part that made me pause and just, I've never watched what's the name? Flagrant. I've never watched Flagrant. I've never Flagrant podcast, but I have seen clips. I feel like everyone's come across it. Mamdani was on it. So like I've seen clips.
For sure.
And I don't know who all is like the main four of the hosts because I feel like I've seen certain people change and yada, yada, yada. Watching it from an outside in and genuinely just as a girl, I would not have gone with that approach of watching her sitting. I just felt weird watching her sitting by herself on a chair. And it's your husband and 4 grown men asking you about your virginity, asking you about your sexual lives, asking you about
your sore butthole,
your sore asshole, and
laughing
and making jokes. And that to me, I just
asking you to like kind of like expand or explain yourself. So like it's not even like obviously she's giving answers, but just it was like hard to, you know,
it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch because I'm like, and this. One, I feel like they obviously, especially Raj, he obviously has been doing podcasts for a long time. Like they've been in the game for a hot minute, right? This is just my opinion.
You know what? I will say this. I'm sure there's a business game to this, right? We're just talking we're coming from the perspective of like, oh, like as a girl. Yeah. And also like as a girl, if that was my girl, that's a hard watch.
That's a hard watch because I feel like what I would have liked to
we're not even talking about it as like, this is going to make this kind of view.
Yeah. Or like them two just specifically. I just mean like anyone in the scenario that they're at, I feel like what would have made sense to me is if him went on her podcast, them to like, you know, write out all the things you've been seeing people saying and address all the topics and make light about it, laugh about it, explain it. We can see how your dynamic is, what your dynamic is. And then if he went back to his own podcast and then even if she wanted to join, then I'm like, okay, you know, do you by that point, like you've already discussed it in a safe space. And I do genuinely believe that like, we've talked about this a few times where there's like different parts of the internet, right? And there's different worlds that exist in the internet. And like, there's always overlap. Like we'll get like, you know, the men that are like screaming at us and like talking when we talk about our periods and shit, whatever. Like there's overlap. But I feel like for the Flagrant podcast, the core audience is men. Whether they, you know, on whatever end of the spectrum, whether they're like super woke men or they're super red pilly guys, they all exist and coexist in that space. Why are grown men, period, having a say in or
being the initial
Yeah,
Please.
like putting you on trial
Right.
for something like this. The only trial you could put me on in that situation is Judge Judy. I'm not going to a podcast of 4 men and sitting there and wanting to talk about something, you know, sensitive topics or topics with my husband. And I'm like,
topics,
dude,
and the thing is, topics that she may have felt like people were misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And then it's like to go where they're like, what did you mean about your sore asshole?
yeah.
What did you actually mean? It's like, well, I actually meant, and it's like, I don't know, this is, and then your husband's just kind of sitting there like, at everything they're saying and
like trying to manage between being a, you know, protective husband versus like cracking the joke at it and like
okay, again, they have their own dynamic of things that they can say to each other, obviously. But I still personally feel like if this was like an Obama, which he would never, but you know what I mean? Like if it was anyone that was like, yeah, and she's just a yapper. She just yaps like a dog, like my dog all day. She just yaps like a dog. And like I keep her behind a fence yapping like a dog. Like that's bogus.
yeah.
Don't say that about your wife on fucking for millions of people to consume. I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't like, I didn't even so much so care about what the actual drama that they were, you know, like people are doing think pieces on actually was. Like,
Same.
got over that with
Don't
like,
give a fuck.
you know, whatever.
Because at that point, they're just saying what they want to say and people are dissecting.
you know, that's just happening. But watching that interaction, I felt bad for her. I was like, man, like, it doesn't feel like a safe space. I don't, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, with gentleness that I'm saying this, where it's like, remember in Love Island when, what's her name?
Iris. Yes.
When Iris was like, okay, like, cool
when
girl,
Iris
but
says,
like, I think that's kind of weird. That's how I felt watching it, where I'm like, I get you're joking with them, and I get that they're trying to make jokes. I don't know if I'm a sensitive girl, but I don't like these jokes. I don't like it. I would rather you two just joke,
or
you and your
be
man,
like on your podcast.
Yeah, and
your
you
girl
and
where
your
you
girls
can
are
talk about
talking
it like,
about it.
guys, I was saying this and these people fucking took it like this. That makes sense to me.
and then joke about it. Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. I definitely think there's worlds that exist, and I feel like in that space, and as much as what she says is controversial, I'm like, he says a lot of controversial things too, you know? So like to put her on trial like that feels kind of insane. Like it feels like a lot. And I felt really bad. I was like, damn, dude, like why don't go there? Like, I don't know. I just didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that
and
that
I
was
don't
the
know,
right
are
approach.
we being like too sensitive? Like, I don't think so. Because I saw multiple, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did see multiple clips of it. And there were multiple, it wasn't just one. And I will say this, being a woman in your 30s, I do think that before, if my gut reaction to something was like, I don't like that. If someone else told me it's not that big of a deal, I would probably be like, oh, you're right. It probably isn't that big of a deal. Now that I'm a little bit older or have been married or like, I'm more like, you know.
You're growing, you're developing. I
feel like it's okay to look at something and be like, I don't really like that. I feel like my gut reaction is that's kind of shitty. And there were multiple clips in that's how I felt.
Yeah. I agree. Because I also think that the audience that it was landing with were a lot of guys that wanted answers.
Yeah, and fuck you.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? You know, and fine, you have your reasons, but like, you know,
actually a lot of the think pieces were men too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of men being angry and saying things, which I get because he has said things.
But if a lot of men are angry at your wife and you're seeing that as the discourse, you don't have to be big dog protector. I get it. But like, then like, okay, the response to that is let me be in front of other men. I don't know. Or maybe we just don't get it. But like, either way, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Even if there's something to get there, I don't love it.
Yeah. I just didn't. I just was like, yeah.
Yeah, so that's our take on that.
That's our take on that. You'll get there.
Did you guys see that I was literally cracking up at this. Justin Bieber posted something. You know how he posts like fucking just like insanity all the time?
Yeah.
But he literally posted a screenshot of his Apple, like where the text message thing is. And he's like, if my fucking, because you know how the voice memo thing pops up?
Yeah.
So he's like, if my fucking voice memo thing comes up one more time while I'm fucking trying to send a text and stops my music, he's like, I'm gonna go to Apple and kick the ass of someone. Like he's crashing out, but it was so funny. And he's like, there should not be two functions for where the text send button is. And I reposted it. I was like, you are absolutely fucking right.
That's what I'm saying. Valid crash out.
Exactly.
Valid. Speaking of crash out, also, there's this new movie out. It's called like Night at Freddy's or something with Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games, PETA. And oh my God, her name's something McKesson, or I don't remember. No, she, like, we've all seen her. She's been in Hollywood. Hutcherson. McKenna. Like, we've watched this girl grow up on TV since she was like 5, right? Or on movies. They just did a movie together. And on the red carpet, an interviewer asks Josh. McKenna, yeah. An interviewer asked Josh, saying, hey, did you know your co-star, McKenna, used to make fan edits of you from Hunger Games? And he was like, no, I did not know that. And he's like being really sweet about it. Then cut to the interviewer telling McKenna, like, McKenna, I'm so sorry I blew your cover. I told Josh that you used to make fan edits of him. And the fear in her face and the revelation and the shock, she's like, what? Huh? And I was like, I can't even imagine if somebody found my, like, if I'm talking to Nick Jonas or Joe Jonas or Zayn Malik from One Direction,
as like a
and someone finds my like Tumblr, love note. Someone finds
kissing him.
The email that I sent to Joe Jonas's ex-girlfriend Mandy because I wanted to become friends with her so I can get oh my God, no. I would die. Yeah. I haven't seen, like, that was like one of those moments where I'm like, this. I feel genuine pain for her because that is the most, like, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
Funny. Another thing that this is our last things before we do our Can I Be a Bitch, just so this is perfect timing wise. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about this week was, okay, have you seen the discourse on TikTok of, there's basically two sides of TikTok. One side is girls. It's a trend about if your best friend cheated on her boyfriend, husband, whatever, would you still be her? Like, what is what would you do? And half of the internet, which is like the normal sane side, and thank God for some humanity left in the world, is the girls that are like, I don't give a fuck what my best friend did. She's my best friend.
I was like, which side is Sana about to
Are you crazy? Yeah. And then the other half, which is the younger girls, they're younger girls, I think newer generation girls, are basically like, that's so fucked up. I can't be friends with someone like that anymore. And a lot of them are like, I would tell him.
Oh, okay. That's
these are situations where it's not like they're groups of best friends or anything. It's like, this is just my best friend. That I'm only associated to this person through my best friend.
Okay.
Oh my God. I don't care if my best friend did anything.
Okay. Yes and no, dude. Hold on. Because I would never tell her man. Ever. However, I feel like when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, who gives a shit? And if I didn't like her man, I'd be like, fucking go. But, like women and men fields. Yes. Like, but now, depending on the situation, but most situations, I would be like, you cannot pursue a relationship until you figure that out. Okay, but I'm not gonna like,
obviously. But
there's layers, dude.
No, okay. But I'm saying, and if your best friend did something, or if I did something, or you did something, you wouldn't no longer be friends with that person.
No.
That's what a lot of people, no.
But it would sit heavy in my heart, and I would, dude? Okay. If you were like, hey, I fucked up in my marriage, something happened, like I slept with a guy, whatever, I would not be your friend. We're cousins. I would not be like, you're still my best friend. And I'd be like, bitch, what do you mean? And we're going to do the problem solving, thinking caps on, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, that can never happen again. If you were actively cheating on a full-fledged relationship with another man while married, I would be like, what are we doing?
No. I totally understand where you're going, but I'm not talking about that.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, when your best friend does something, if your best friend cheats on a boyfriend or something's going on, would you no longer be friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, if she
does it continuously, dude.
I hear you.
Because that's not What are you saying then? What are you saying?
I'm saying it's the point is like, you have that person or the people in your life where like, I would know where the body's buried. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but I can't do that for everybody.
Nobody's saying you do that for everybody.
I can't do that for everybody.
I'm
and
saying,
there's layers to this.
No. Yes, but you should do that for the people that are you should have ride or die people. Like, if
I know, but
you would not tell anybody. You would be mad. Nobody's saying you don't get to have feelings. Anything. But like, you're mad or you're sad or you're like, as in anything. As in, I'm like, wait. Absolutely, things change about a husband. Let me go back to me.
No, you're saying if Abdus cheated, I wouldn't be mad?
No. Of course you would be mad.
Of course.
No. I'm saying if I killed someone.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I was like. Let me bring it back to me.
I'm like, if my husband cheated,
because if my husband cheated, I would also kill him.
If you killed someone, I'd be fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But if I killed someone, you would, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Would you be like, Sana, we can't do this again. We're fucked. Yeah. Are we going to go to jail? This is bad. Do we move to Aruba? How do we save our lives? 100%.
Yeah.
Or you're like, you do that. I'm saying here. Either way, you don't tell anybody and you don't, that's the point.
I almost hope you don't tell me. We've had this conversation in our family where we were like, okay, if one of us like escaped jail and I'm like, don't come to my house. Don't come to my house and drag me down with you. Why would you do that?
This is taking a bad
I'm getting stressed. Because, okay, I hear you. If you did it, I would be like, okay, what are we doing? What's happening? And I never would leave you. And I would always love you the same amount. But if my girlfriend is cheating on her husband.
Okay, maybe let's take it to boyfriends. You're 19. Your best friend cheats.
Talk about it today.
Because I feel like the stakes are so low when they're young, you know?
Yeah, they are. That's something when they were young. I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not like, yeah.
These are like girls that are with boys in like high school and college.
In high school, we're having a different conversation.
And either way, if it was any of your best friends, you wouldn't go tell the husband. Exactly.
Unless the husband is my brother.
That's the discourse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're like, Sana, if our best friends are cheating and having an affair, we have to tell them that's wrong. Like, yes, I know. Aquarius, I get it.
Yeah. And I would, if they kept doing it, I would start distancing myself.
Oh, 100%.
That's a character flaw to a certain degree. You have children 100%. At 30 in their 30s, we're going to do that shit. Like, that's crazy.
No.
Unless you're in like, it's like a high stakes, you're in an abusive situation, you're trying to escape someone's, even then I'd be like, we have to find you. This is not you, like we have to work on us internally.
Yes, but 19 in Miami,
19-year-old and in high
somebody's
school.
Dancing with someone. You're like, I didn't see that. Nothing even happened. Yeah, I'm not pleased.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I was taking it.
Not at all. This is not.
I'm one of those people commenting and fuck her, leave her, dumbass bitch. And nobody in my circle is doing that.
Oh my God.
No, because anyways, you guys get the point.
You get the point.
Okay.
Can I be a bitches? We have 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. This is good.
Okay. My can I be a bitches? I don't care what the circumstances. If under any scenario, someone goes, oh my God, she's blushing, referencing me. Fuck you. I hate that. I hate if I'm not blushing and someone's like, are you blushing? Or if I am blushing and someone's like, oh my God, she's blushing. Because if I wasn't blushing, I'm going to start blushing now. If I am blushing, you're only making it worse. And I genuinely, to my core, think that people who say things like that, it's like a power trip. Like, it's a power trip.
Like, oh, you're so like, cute.
It's like, you're blushing. What, this never happens to you? Shut the fuck up, you grimy ass bitch. Oh my God, it makes me so mad when people do that. I get so mad.
I think it's more of like there's a type of person that does this, and it's like, okay.
It's like, okay, it could be any scenario, but I'm like, if I wasn't blushing, now I am blushing because now everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
You could do your other one too.
Oh. Okay, my other can I be a bitch is that I am a complainer through and through. I love to complain. But understand that when I'm complaining as I'm doing what it is I
just need to get the complaint out, but I know I have to do the solution.
We talked about this in the last episode when we were talking about like fights and stuff. Like, I will complain the whole way through the activity. I'm vacuuming, I'm complaining about vacuuming. I will complain, but I will complain as I'm completing said task. When people complain and they never touch it, they don't act on it, they keep complaining about it, you give them solutions, and now they're complaining about the solutions you've given. At that point, I'm done. I don't care
It can't enter my orbit anymore. I think that's a getting older thing too. Like I have to block it out. I can't. Yeah.
And I understand. I complain about 10 things. I'll get 7 of them done.
But if you're not doing
But if you're not doing any of them and I'm giving you the solution,
I can't hear you complain.
Worse, if I'm doing it for and or with you and now you're complaining but you're not doing it, I'm done. We're not partners anymore.
Nope.
It's over.
Nope.
Those are mine.
Love that. I have 2 as well. One is we went to see Zootopia 2. I have never in the flesh in my life seen humans with tails the size of another human attached to their body in the winter with other coats and clothes on, but you have a tail coming out of your coat.
She's talking about the furry community. Sana has never seen the furry.
I have
out and about.
Never in my life. I genuinely, to my core, feel like the 85-year-old woman who's like, I've seen enough. You know, I've seen enough. I don't know where we go from here. It's giving the Capitol from Hunger Games. It freaks me the fuck out, and I don't care if you're mad at me about it.
It was such a slow progression, too. Like, we're watching Zootopia. I saw one furry outside, full getup. And I was like, oh, a furry. Because
I've never seen.
I've seen furries once before. One of my best friend's weddings was at a hotel, and the venue right next to hers during her wedding was a furry convention.
Nope.
So we're like in the wedding, and there's a furry convention and furry convention happening at the same time.
And I have limits with my kids. Like, I can't, you guys. This is like too far for me. We need to reel it back. Okay. So people aren't eating. Why are you an animal? Like, I can't deal. Like, it's too much disassociation. Pick a drug. Stick to that. I can't do this, dude. No, it really pissed me off. It really genuinely it gave me rage. The other thing that gave me rage is what I am really frustrated, and I have worked in retail, double retail. I've worked 80-hour weeks. I've worked Black Fridays, Best Buy at the peak when people were lining up. I have worked, okay? And I do not understand where we've gone, where like, I would say 75% of the time, my order is going to be wrong. I'm not talking about fine dining, but if I'm ordering delivery, if I'm ordering anything anywhere else besides like fine dining, literally 75% of the time it's missing something or it's wrong. And it pisses me off.
Yeah. The expectation is that your order is going to be missing something.
I expected that, or it's not, or it's dropped off in a completely different location, or like, I don't know. There are just, you expect, and it's not like they don't charge service fee after service fee after service fee. And then it's not like you're not paying for the service. You're paying so much money for the service. And then on top of that, it's always wrong. And you know, who's going to go call after it's like so annoying.
Yeah. At that point, you just get what you get and you work with it. But that is really annoying.
Yeah. Well,
okay. That is our episode for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening and or watching if that's what you're doing. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us things you want us to talk about.
We will be doing an end of year confessional.
Yeah.
So please look out for that. And we are so excited to share those and tell us some things about your 2025. And we'll be back.
Yeah. Bye, guys.